Hey everyone, this is David Pike, Motorcity Mechanic, back with another video. Today's video is going to be on a hissing slash vacuum type sound every time you depress the brake pedal on a 6.7 Cummins diesel. Check it out. Now I've got the vehicle running right now, and I can hear the hissing sound every time I hit the brakes. It goes away. I come back up, I can still hear it. I'm going to move the microphone down so you can hear it up under the dash. Hopefully it's picking it up. Goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back. Now it sounds like a vacuum leak. Now normally on a typical gas engine you would think it has something to do with the vacuum assisted power brake booster. Well, this is a diesel. Diesel doesn't use vacuum to control brakes. It uses the power steering system. Power steering fluid is pumped up to what they call hydro booster. A hydro booster is actually what gives you your power brakes. So we can't be leaking vacuum because the system doesn't use that. So we've got something going on with the pedal each time we depress it. Now I've come across this situation a few times. What usually happens is the nylon sleeve that's inside the pressure hose that goes from the pump to the hydro booster works its way loose and starts going up inside the metal lines going towards the hydro booster. Now what we'll do is we'll take the line loose and we'll see if we can see the nylon coming through, and if so we'll pull it off, and then we'll have to end up replacing the hose. But that is somewhat of a common issue. I don't see it every day, but I'll probably replace about 4 or 5 of them, so I have seen them. So if you're getting that hissing sound and it changes one way or another, whether you depress or release the brakes, this is what you're going to need to look for. So the hose we're going to be paying attention to is this upper one right here. Here's your master cylinder. You got 2 power steering pressure hoses. This is the one right here. This one actually comes from the pump itself. This one actually leads down towards the gearbox. This is the one that we're going to be loosening up the fitting right here. And then we're going to inspect to see if that nylon sleeve inside the hose has actually worked its way past here and on down towards the hydro booster. Now, that's going to be an 18 millimeter on that side. And then I'm going to be using a 7/8 on this side. So I'm using a little combination of everything, just whatever you want to use. You want to use some large crescent wrench, so be it. I use whatever I can get my hands on. Go ahead and loosen it. There we go. Should be at that point, you should be able to do it by hand. Just go ahead and back it out. Like I said, what we want to see is whether or not this hose should come off and not have anything in between. If I pull this off and I've got that nylon tube in there, which I do, then I know that's the cause of my noise. The nylon sleeve is supposed to be part of this hose assembly. The fact that it's worked its way forward and gone down in here, it's probably made its way all the way down and turned and got almost into the hydro booster. So probably almost another 10 inches of this nylon has probably gotten in there. So I've got to grab it and try pulling on it if I can. If not, I've got to get a pair of pliers and start working it out. Or I got to take this line off and try to do it that way. But I want to try to get it off from here. I'm just using a pair of pliers. Grab it, start grabbing it, working it, take my time. There we go. What ends up happening is the end of it becomes flared and then it doesn't want to come out. And there we go. That's not supposed to be like this. So we're going to go ahead and replace this high pressure hose, and that's going to eliminate our noise. We got one side loosened already. All we got to do is go down to the back where it's on the pump. So right here you can see the belt. This right here is your power steering pump. This is that line, the other end of that high pressure line that we took loose that had the nylon sleeve to come out. So we got a banjo bolt right here, which is just a bolt that's got holes drilled through it that fluid can flow through. We've got to take that off. Now we're going to use that. That's a 17 millimeter. We'll use a long extension, and we'll put a catch pan up under so we can catch any of the power steering fluid that comes out. So that's what we're going to be taking loose right there. Socket up under here, long extension. Break it loose, and as you see, here comes the power steering fluid. I'll probably leave it loose like that for a few minutes, let all the fluid drain out, and then I come back, take it all the way off. So here's the old hose. That's our banjo fitting right there. It's got little brass washers that kind of keep everything in place. That's one of them. And that's your banjo bolt. It's got a hole drilled through the center and the side so fluid can go through. Your new one, or the replacement hose that I'm using, actually has a new bolt as well as 2 more brass fittings. If not, make sure you save both of these and make sure they're clean when you go back with them. You'll put one on the bolt side, go through the hose, and then make sure you got one on the other side as well.